Hey everyone, I thought I'd just do a quick video and show you how I plan on fixing the T500RS wheel wobble, which people may have figured out after a while the wheel starts to move back and forward, and that's because the screws underneath the wheel that hold it onto the drive shaft get loose. So the first step is if you turn the wheel over underneath, you have a screw, which I hope you can see in the video here, which is this one here. And so what we do is just grab our screwdriver, just take that off. It's more difficult with one hand. Open that up and then just twist it off. Okay. And it pulls out. Okay. Once you have the wheel off, like so, here's where you get access to those screws. Okay, so I've already removed 3 of them. And actually, I'll just turn this back around. So you can see I've removed one from over here, one underneath, one over here. This last one, it's in the corner here, is actually one of the new ones that I've put in. So I'll show you now after I take this out what we need to do. So just bear with me. So I'll quickly screw this out. And this is one of the new M3 20mm screws, or bolts I guess really, which are countersunk, which I just had to make because if I go back over here, here's the original 14mm ones that were in the wheel in the Thrustmaster, and I went to the shop to try buy new ones which are 20mm, which is what the forum said on iRacing. However, I could only get 16mm, which are M3 countersunk, and you can see there's not much difference between the two, between the 14 and 16, and the recommended size was to do 20mm. However, the shops only had countersunk and they were 25mm. And you can see I've marked these ones because I plan on cutting these 3. I already cut one of them to make the 20mm one, which is that there. And you can see the little bit that I've hacksawed off. So once you've made 4 of the 20mm, you can probably buy 20mm. I just didn't wait around or go to loads of shops to try find the actual 20mm, so I decided to make my own from the 25mm M3s that were available, these ones here. So what you need then is, because the hole on the drive shaft isn't long enough for 20mm, you have to actually use one of these, which if I get it to focus in, you'll see that it's an M3 0.5 thread tap. If it decides to focus, there you can. And you can get them in one of these type of sets here where you can pick up and make all sorts of different sized threads. So I just picked that up today for, I think it was like $50 or something like that. So and so what you do is you can just put it inside with the little device that comes with them. Bear with me while I try and push this in one-handed. Easier said than done. Give me a second, I'll put the camera down. So once you have it inserted and tightened up, you should see the threads on it. Okay. Now what you do is you come back over here to the wheel, and what I found easiest to do was to remove the collar like this. And then you can see from behind, here's where you have access to the actual drive shaft. And this is the bit you have to be careful about, because you don't want to ruin the threads, but in theory you're actually making new ones with this, but you want to still get it on the same thread that already exists so that you're able to just make the threads longer to accept the 20mm screws that we're about to put in. Now what I like to do is get a bit of the WD-40. I'll just put it down here and just spray a bit of oil on the end of the die, so that when we're creating the tap, so it lubricates it enough that it won't actually, it goes in nicer. It also lubricates then when the screws go in. So the next step, which I should really grab, is this cloth and just push it in there, because you'll find that some filings come out, metal filings come out, and I don't want them going inside the wheels, so I just like to catch them before we go any further. This is a lot more difficult to do one-handed. I should have maybe got my GoPro, but hey, we'll carry on like this. So you basically just want to very carefully just line it up. Let me try to get a little closer here. Wait for it to focus for you. So you see I'm just putting it in now. You want to make sure that it's going in straight. And just be very slow and delicate with it. And it should naturally find the natural thread. So you just keep screwing like this. Just roll it back the wrong way if you think you haven't got the right threads, and then it should naturally find the right thread. This is a bit you want to be careful of. Once you've got a start on it, it should then just start to go in nice and easily, the way it is now. Okay, just keep turning it. And if you find it's getting too tight, just screw it back a little bit, and that'll loosen up any of the filings that's got clogged in the threads. Just keep turning, being careful to keep it straight. Just adding in the T-bar here to make it easier to turn. Just keep going. You can see how much is left on that. I'll let it focus for you. You see how much is left on that? I find if you go all the way in, it works best. So, just keep going. Let that focus again. It keeps losing focus. And I'm not even putting much pressure on this. It should be fairly easy to go. Once you start to get towards the end where the threads haven't been cut, which is what we're actually doing, we're going to create some new ones, even though the shaft is long enough for the screw. There's no threads for it to go into, so that's what we're going to do here. Is I've kind of got to about there, and now the shaft's starting to turn, but I want to continue on to actually be able to get the full way in. So let me just try and hold the camera somehow, but I have to hold this from turning as well. So the shaft's starting to turn. You can see it's wanting to turn, which means I'm starting to create new threads. So if I just twist that back, just see if I can hold this and hold the camera at the same time. It doesn't need to be much force, it needs to be held. So you just need to, just want to, so you kind of get the idea, but I'll do is just put the camera down for a second and then I'll finish. You can see now it's in a lot further than it was. And what I'll do is I can just carry on turning. I wish I could do this again. There we go. Just rotate this back again. I need to wear a You can see though from there that it's gone in much further. Okay, so go all the way in and then just screw it back out. Okay, and we just screw it out. This is the bit where the filings may come out, so just make sure you have your cloth there to catch any filings that you might find might come out. Just slowly screw it back out. I'm going to take the T-bar out. It should come out quite nicely. See, I'm not putting any pressure on that, and it's just nice and smoothly. It feels really nice now that it's got the new threads on it, and I'll show you all the filings that actually come out. It's not too difficult. I thought thought it would be much more difficult. It's my first time doing it. So you can see here, if it focuses on it, there's all the filings that have come out. So we just make sure that we don't get them inside the wheel. Okay, so you just rub them on the cloth and that gets rid of them. Okay, now that should be ready to take the screw, the new ones that we've created, which are 20 mils. So the new 20 mils, if you want, you can just try it by hand first. And it just goes in by hand. It's so much nice. That thread is just really, really nicely cut. So you can screw that in just to make sure that it fits okay. And look at that, I don't even need the screwdriver, it's so nice. Okay. And it goes in pretty much all the way, which it should do, because we only have a very small bit of plastic lip, so I'll just keep screwing that in, just make sure. And there you can see. So that's the second one done. And that's now, as you can see, the much longer screw. So if I come back over here, you'll see, compared to the original, it's going to be about twice the amount of thread that's going to be holding in the steering wheel, which should mean it won't actually get loose and should prevent that wobble. So if you're able to find 20 mils, just buy the 20 mil M3s. If you can't, do like I did, and that was buy the 25s. And then when you cut off the end of it, you see there I cut off the end. You're probably best to use just one of these, which is to re-thread the end of it. So what you would do is you'd take the piece you just cut and just very gently and slowly just screw it into this here using a screwdriver. Make sure it's straight, obviously, and then so when you screw that in, that'll be it. And that'll be the end of it. Will be nicely re-threaded from you having cut it with the hacksaw. So that's it. So you do that 2 more times, or 3 times, 4 times in total, and you should have a really tight T500RS steering wheel. If you want in, just add any comments and I can reply to them with any questions you might have. That's about it. I'll maybe take some photos and can post them. It might make it easier. We'll talk to you later.